We now proceed to the property relations of husband and wife. So, ano ba ang governing rule sa property relation ng mag-asawa? Okay. First, na i-consider mo dyan is kung meron silang marriage settlement. Kung meron silang marriage settlement, yun ang masusunod na rule kung paano mag-govern ang ari-arian ng mag-asawa. Kung wala silang marriage settlement, tignan mo yung taon ng kanilang kasal, the date of their marriage. Kasi may significance yan kung alam mo yung taon ng kanilang kasal. Kasi kapag prior to August 3, 1987, ang governing rule dyan is provisions of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Kapag after August 3, 1987, ang kasal, ang governing rule dyan is the Family Code of the Philippines. Bakit kailangan i-differentiate kung sa Civil Code siya o sa Family Code siya? Okay? Kasi sa Civil Code, ang property regime under the Civil Code ay absolute community of property. Ibig sabihin, kapag absolute community of property ang governing rule sa properties ninyo, kunwari, nung binata ka or dalaga ka, may ari-arian ka na. Okay? Na-acquire mo nung pagkabinata mo or pagkadalaga mo. Kinasal ka ngayon. Assuming na walang marriage settlement. So, yung ari-arian mo nung pagkabinata mo at pagkadalaga mo at nag-asawa ka, automatic yan dadalhin mo sa loob ng iyong marriage. Okay? It would form part of the absolute community of properties. Ibig sabihin, pag naghiwalay kayo later on ng asawa mo, yung pag-aari mo nung binata ka at nung pagkadalaga mo, na nasama sa ari-arian na ninyong mag-asawa, maghahati na kayo doon. Ngayon, yung 100% ownership mo noon, magiging 50% na lang ang ownership mo doon. Kasi the other 50% ay mapupunta sa asawa mo. Yan ang governing rule under the provisions of the Civil Code. Dati, kung kinasal ka before August 3, 1987, that is the effectivity of the Family Code, ang governing rule mo is absolute community of property under the Civil Code. Ngayon, kung kinasal ka after August 3, 1987, which is the effectivity of the Family Code, syempre, ang governing rule mo dyan is the provisions of the Family Code, which is conjugal partnership. Kapag sinabing conjugal partnership, yung ari-arian mo noong binata ka at noong dalaga ka, pag kinasal ka, separate property yon, pag-aari mo yon. Provided na nasa title mo is, yung status sa title ng property mo is single. Okay? You can dispose it without marital consent. Lalong-lalo na kapag nakatitle yung property sa pangalan mo at ang status mo doon sa title ay single. You can dispose it under conjugal partnership of the family, provisions of the Family Code. Ngayon, ang difference niyan is separate pa rin na property mo yon, yung property, kahit kinasal ka na. Ang magpo-form lang sa absolute community of property ninyong mag-asawa ay yung mga gains or yung income, yung fruits ng separate properties nyo. Of course, it will form part of your community of properties. So, it is significant that you should know the date of the marriage of the spouses. Kasi may difference yan as to the rule governing the property relations of husband and wife kapag kinasal ka ng before August 3, 1987 and after August 3, 1987, the effectivity of the Family Code. So, yun yung difference nun. Ngayon, may sinasabi tayong marriage settlement. Ano ba itong marriage settlement? Ang marriage settlement, ladies and gentlemen, ito yung kontrata na pinasok ng nobyo at nobya or future spouses, fixing their matrimonial property regime, na siya ang mag-govern habang sila ay kasal. Okay? And that is the first priority rule. Kapag wala silang marriage settlement at nagpakasal sila, walang settlement, kung hindi nila inayos kung paano ang property relations nila bilang mag-asawa, ang gagamitin mo dyan is, kung ngayon, is the conjugal partnership of gains under the provisions of the family code. Kasi family code na tayo ngayon. Unlike kung kinasal ka noon before, no, bago dumating ang araw ng August 3, 1987, civil code ang gagamitin. So nasabi naman na natin kung anong pinagkaiba kung civil code, no, kung nung panahon ng civil code ka kinasal at ngayon na panahon ng family code ka kinasal. So that's the difference. You should know the date of the marriage of the spouses in order for you to determine kung ano ang rule na ia-apply mo as to the property relations between husband and wife. Ngayon, punta tayo sa marriage settlement. So, ang marriage settlement, kontrata yan na pinasok ng future spouses as to the rule governing their property relations. The requisites of a valid marriage settlement is that dapat ginawa nyo ito bago ang kasal. Okay? Siyempre, dapat may black and white, nasa writing. In writing, nasa kasulatan. Pinirmahan ninyong dalawa. At hindi dapat ito makakaapekto sa third party. It should not prejudice a third persons unless ire-register nyo ito sa civil registry of properties. Tapos, merong fixed terms and conditions, yun na yung pag-uusapan nyo dun sa kontrata as to your property relations. Tapos, hindi dapat ito kontra, hindi, yung usapan ninyo, to become a valid contract, it should not be contrary to law, good morals, good customs, public order, and public policy, or against the dignity ng magiging asawa mo. So, dapat hindi siya contrary doon, hindi siya violative doon sa mga yon. At saka, yung mga pipirma, dapat kapag may civil interdiction, no, as disabled, may civil interdiction sa isang signatory, dapat pipirma yung guardian ng ward para maging valid yung marriage settlement ninyo. So, ang property relations ng mag-asawa, kapag meron silang marriage settlement, marriage settlement. Kapag wala silang ginawang marriage settlement, ang governing rule nila, kapag kinasal ka from August 4 na lang, August 4, 1987 onwards, ang mag-govern sa'yo is conjugal partnership of gains under the provisions of the family code. Pero kapag kinasal ka August 3, 1987, pabalik, okay? Pabalik sa panahon ni Civil Code, ang governing rule mo sa inyong ari-ariang mag-asawa ay absolute community of property under the provisions of this Civil Code. Ngayon, yung marriage settlement, pwede ba itong i-modify? Okay? The general rule is that ang marriage settlement, pwede ninyong i-modify yan, provided it must be made in writing. Nasa kasulatan na naman. Pipirmahan ng mga mag-asawa, magiging mag-asawa. Pero number 1, natatandaan, dapat nangyari yan, modification na yan, o yung marriage settlement na yan, before kayo ikasal. That is the modification of the marriage settlement. Except, merong exemption dyan na pwede ninyong i-modify, na parang pwede ninyong i-modify yung marriage settlement ninyo. Kapag, katulad sa nangyari sa mga nauna nating videos, doon sa video natin sa legal separation, pag gusto ninyong i-revive yung property relations ninyo, of course, kailangan nyo na namang pumasok sa isang kasunduan. And that is a form of marriage settlement. And that is the exemption of modifying a marriage settlement after the celebration of marriage. Kasi as a general rule, you cannot modify a marriage settlement kapag nangyari na ang kasal. You can only modify a marriage settlement before the celebration of marriage. The exemption of
Ito.
The exemption of marriage settlement, you cannot modify a marriage settlement kapag nangyari na yung kasal. So, ang exemption dyan is that kapag gusto nyo, after legal separation in any stage of the proceeding, you want to revive your property relations. So, kailangan nyo pumasok sa kontrata ulit niyan ng iyong asawa. And that is a form of modification of your marriage settlement. Second exemption is that in case of abandonment or failure to comply with marital obligations. So, pwede ninyong i-modify ang marriage settlement. That is under Article 128 of the Family Code. And the third one, if merong pasok sa mga circumstances na sufficient causes para sa judicial separation of your properties. Halimbawa, kapag yung asawa nung petitioner ay nahatulan ng penalty which carries civil interdiction. Yun ang isa sa circumstances na pwedeng ma-modify ang marriage settlement. Ang civil interdiction, guys, ay ito yung it deprives the offender during the time of his sentence, no, of the rights of parental authority or guardianship, either as to the persons or property of any ward of marital authority, of the right to marriage or the right to manage his property, and of the right to dispose of such property by any act or any conveyance inter vivos. Okay? That is civil interdiction. Pangalawa na circumstances ay kapag yung spouse ng petitioner ay judicially declared, no, na absentee. Okay? Na meron din, nabanggit na natin yan sa mga previous video natin, na pwede mong ipa-declare yung asawa mo as an absentee spouse. Yan ay isa din circumstance kung gusto mong i-modify ang marriage settlement ninyo as to the property relations between you and your spouse. Pangatlo is the loss of parental authority of the spouse of the petitioner has been decreed by a competent court. Of course, meron din that the spouse of the petitioner has abandoned the latter or failed to comply with his or her obligations to the family as provided for in Article 101. Yung mag-asawa or yung asawa mo nag-grant ng special power of administration in the marriage settlement, has abused that power. Inabuso naman yung power na i-grant sa'yo. So that could be a cause of modifying the marriage settlement agreed into. Na nung oras ng petition, that at the time of the petition, the spouses have been separated in fact or at least 1 year, and reconciliation is hindi na feasible or highly improbable. So you will modify your marriage settlement after the celebration of marriage. So those are circumstances that you can modify a marriage settlement after the celebration of marriage. But as the general rule, modification of marriage settlement should occur before the celebration of marriage. So may donation. pwede kang mag-donate sa iyong asawa by reason of marriage. But in order for it to be valid, it should be made before the celebration of marriage. At yung donation na yan is in consideration of that marriage and in favor of one or both of the future spouses. You can donate to the spouses. Ano ang rule sa pagdodonate ng future spouses sa bawat isa? To them, each other. Okay. Bago ka makapag-donate sa magiging asawa mo, dapat merong marriage settlement. Valid marriage settlement. Pangalawa, doon sa settlement ninyo, dapat meron doong stipulation ng inyong property regime maliban sa absolute community of property. At yung donation sa inyong marriage settlement, hindi dapat hihigit sa 1/5 na pag-aari ng magiging asawa mo. In order for your donation to your future spouse to be valid, you should observe that rules or guidelines in donating to your future spouses. Please take note na kapag yung donation mo nag-exceed sa 1/5 ng limitation, yung sobra nun is a void donation. Pero yung natitira is a valid addition. Yun. Paano naman kapag nakapag-donate ka na by reason of marriage? Ano yung grounds para ma-revoke mo yung donation na nangyari nung kasal? Okay? Yung mga grounds ay kapag walang nangyaring kasal, pero nakapag-donate ka na sa magiging mag-asawa, walang nangyaring kasal. It's a prank. So you can revoke the donation made propter nuptias. Or it is judicially declared void ab initio. Void from the very beginning, yung kasal. Except those made in marriage settlement that do not depend on celebration of marriage. You can revoke. Kapag yung kasal ay naganap without the parental consent, kailangan ng parental consent sa mga future spouses na nagpapakasal when they are at the age of 18 to 21. Parental consent is required. Ngayon, kapag kinasal sila without the parental consent as required by law, you can revoke the donation made propter nuptias. Kapag yung kasal ay na-annulled at yung donee is in bad faith, it is a ground for revocation of the donation propter nuptias. Upon legal separation, the donee being the guilty spouse, you can revoke your donation. Kapag yung donation may resolutory condition and the condition is na-comply na niya, you can revoke the donation. At syempre, kapag yung pinagbigyan mo ng donation, ingrid, as specified on law on donations under Article 765 of the Civil Code, you can revoke. Okay, when the donee attempted to your life or to your immediate family members, you can revoke the donations made propter nuptias. So, yun yung mga donations na mangyayari. Kasi uso yan kapag kinakasal kayo, maraming nagbibigay sa inyo. So, yun yung grounds kung paano mo i-revoke yung mga dinonate mo by reason of marriage. So, yan yung property relation of husband and wife. For the next video, we will be talking about paternity and filiation at support. Tapos, segue tayo sa adoption, domestic adoption and intercountry adoption. So, yun. Paternity and filiation, support. Malapit na tayo sa parental authority and subparental authority. So, thank you guys for watching this video. At kung bago ka pa lang sa aking YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe and click the notification bell para lagi pong updated sa ating videos. Thank you!